business process. So this is generally used for all kinds of work that we do. Okay, so business process helps us in performing any of the workflows. Okay, so and how do we create it? That is what we have to understand. So in order to understand the business process, there is a task in the tenant. I'm sorry, I don't know if I've shared my screen. Did I share my screen? I think yes. Okay, so here in the initial days when Workday came into picture, guys, there were no business process that we can customize. We were supposed to follow only the business process which was given by Workday, and we could not create our own. We could not customize it. But gradually, when Workday improved, Workday, provided us the option to create or configure our own business processes. But still, we had to use the existing business process definition. So I'll just show you. So there are more than 300 to 400 business process that is there in Workday. I think it's more than 500 now. Yeah, you see 540. And these business processes consist of all the modules. So if you look into this task or report which says business process definition, it will give you all the business process as per the functional area. So you have all the business processes that you have in Workday. So it's like around 540. This is all default business process. Default business process means it is given by Workday to us. So if you see, this is all default, right? So if I just try to search one business process, let's say I will search for hire. Okay, give me a minute. Let me add a filter. So when I search for hire, what I'll see is, you see, within hire, there is 71, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 76 hire business processes which has been customized. So what does that mean? That with one default business process, we can keep on creating as many processes I want. This is all custom business process. Okay, the here you see I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm so sorry. So we got that this particular default definition, and in this default definition we have got so many of the custom business processes which has been created by users like us. Okay, so it indicates that the 540 business processes that we see here, with the help of this, we can create as many business processes we want. And how do we create it? We create it with the help of supervisory organizations. Because see, whenever you are creating a business process, it has to be applied somewhere. In core HCM, as I stated, 90% of the work that we do, it actually revolves around supervisory organization. So let's say if you have to hire somebody, where would you hire? Guys, where would you hire somebody? Under a supervisor, under a
Yeah,
manager, under a hiring manager? So if you have to hire somebody, it has to be a supervisory organization. So whenever we create anything, we have to be very much sure that where we are doing it. So for example, uh, let's try to search for our supervisory organization. So I'm sure that we would have created tech. Okay, I don't know why I'm not able to find it, but let me search it. Okay, So if you see this, this is all what we have created, and I think our supervisory organizations are gone. Maybe we have not used it properly. So let's create one supervisory organization. Create supervisory organization, and I'll quickly create one, and I'll show you how exactly it works. So we'll put the
Existing one will be shown under the all all section.
this one you're talking about. Yeah, but
No, no,
I think that,
yeah,
yeah, sorry, tell me.
yeah, under the all search result, advanced all basically.
Yeah, I know that. You're talking about this one, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, it's not searching it. It's not giving me the supervisory organization. So that's the reason I'm saying that supervisory organizations are gone. That's the reason I'm creating a new one, and it will hardly take another 2 minutes for me to do it. So I'll just create it. But the problem is my reorganization is also not being shown. Okay, I'll use an existing one. Okay, any of the reorganization which is there, I will just try to use that. So let's say I'm creating WDLE one. Okay, I think I'll have this. Yeah, and I'll go ahead and click on OK. And let's say I'm creating a supervisory organization, technology, WDLM1, include code, include manager, subtype, department, visibility everyone, and then primary location. I hope I'll get my location. Oh, that is also not there. Let me use this one then. Yeah, I got Mumbai. I'll just use it. Okay. What is the error? Oh, it's asking for the staffing. Okay. All right. Let's say I'll use position, and then I'll go ahead and click on OK. Hmm. So there is problem. This is the issue. When you actually try making changes, a lot of people have already made some things which is not required, and it is going to be a big issue for us. Okay. Okay. So there you go. I've removed all the roles which is not required. Now, what I was saying is, how do we actually configure the business process? So we click on actions, go to business process. So this is the option that I have, right? And whatever the relevant business process is, it's already there within the system. If you click on this, it says business process definition for the business object. Now, business object is my supervisory organizations. Okay. Now I'll see 321 business process is already associated with this supervisory organization, and this will all be default definition. So if you see this right now, I have my hire, right? So hire also will be there, and but it will be default. So whatever we have in the default definition, that will be there. But I don't want to use the default definition. I want to create my own business process. So what will I do? I'll go back to the supervisory organization, click on actions, go back to business process, and then I have this option which says create, copy, or link definition. Okay, so these are the three things: create, copy, or link definition. So if I have this option of create, copy, or link definition, I'll come to this screen. Now what does it show? I got business object. Now I have effective date, time zone, because this user is in New Zealand. That's the reason it is picking the New Zealand time. All right, it has refreshed. All right, now whenever I have to create anything, guys, I have to specify the process that I want to use. So for example, if I have to use hire, I'll use hire here. You see this option, hire. So this is a very important part. If you have to create any business process, you want to customize it, you will have to first of all use that existing one. And that's the reason you will be able to find it. Otherwise, you will not be able to find it. Okay. So I'll click on hire and I get three options. It says copy existing, link, and none of the above. Now, the first one is copy existing. What does that mean? So I've shown you that there are, 76, 77 business processes which has already been created by, higher business process, right? You saw in the previous screen. Guys, do you remember that?
321 something.
No, I said about higher. If you remember, I showed you that with the
Yeah, yeah.
higher business process, there were 300, sorry, there were 70 plus business process which was already created. I'll show you again. Guys, don't miss this. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you to understand. Okay, I'll go back. Business process definition. When I go into this report, I have 540, right? And I'll say that I look into higher. And out of that, you will see 70 plus, right? I'm talking about this,
Okay.
right? Is it clear now?
Yeah.
So, what does it say? Copy existing definition. So, all these existing definitions which is there, I can actually make a copy of it and I can use that. So, all the definitions which is there related with higher, I will find it here. See, it is 80 to be, precise. All this higher business process is there. Now, if I want to keep a copy, I can do that. So let's say one of the supervisory organization has 8 steps in hiring. Okay. And I said that, okay, I will make a copy of it. When I make a copy of it, the existing definition will remain as such. There will be no changes there. There is no changes at all there. And when I make a copy, my supervisory organization will have a copy of the existing one. Now, it is an independent business process which got assigned to my supervisory organization. I can make the changes in my supervisory organization and in the business process. It will not impact the previous one because I have got a copy of it. So let's say if there are 8 steps, in that 8 steps, I want to keep first 4 and I want to remove the next 4. Or I want to keep first 4 and remove next 4 and add 2 more steps of my own choice. I can do that. And that will not make an impact on the existing one. Whatever was there, it will be there. There were 8 steps, it will be there. Okay. So this is the meaning of copy, that you are copying it, but you become the owner of it. The copied business process will be your one. The existing original will be exactly lying there. There will be no changes in that. Does that make sense? What is copy, guys? Yes or no?
Yeah, yeah, but if we created for the supervisory organization, right? So
Hmm.
once we created here, and if we try to look for the same in business process definitions page, so will it shown
Hmm.
there also?
Yes, it will show you. So right now
Then
you
how?
have, sorry, I did not get it. How we do we?
Then how to differentiate the existing one and
So
the
it
created a copy in this list?
so it will not have the same name.
Okay, okay,
Okay, the
got it.
name will be
Yeah.
different. Okay, so this is the meaning of copy. Then comes the next option which says link. Now, linking means I'm trying to use the business process of any other supervisory organization. I don't want to change anything. I'll just use the same one in my supervisory organization. So what will happen in that case? My supervisory organization will be dependent on the other business process. If they make any changes in the other, the linked business process, then here also that change will be reflected. I will not be the owner. That business process will be owned by somebody who's created that. And I cannot make any changes if I want to. Did you understand the difference between linking and copy? What is the difference between link and copy?
Yeah.
Everybody, Madhu, Kisha, Vijay, Chetan, sorry, Akshat. This is very important. That's the reason I'm asking you. There is a major difference between copy and link. When you copy something, you become the owner of the copied business process. You can make the changes as per your requirement. But when you link it, you don't become the owner. The ownership is still lies with the previous organization who is using it. If they make any changes there, the same changes will be reflected here. I cannot change it as per my requirement. Is that clear? Guys, yes or no? Please tell me.
Uh, yeah. In the case of copy, we can't we have as an honor like authentication to use. But in the link, we can't treat as an ownership thing.
Okay. Yeah, I got
Am
something
I,
on the chat.
am I correct,
Oh,
Devashish?
yeah, there is no authentication part, but it is more like authorization, Akshat. You don't become the owner if you link something. If you can, you become the owner if you copy that. Copying means using the same steps, but in an independent way. How you copy the document? Okay, I have a resume and I want to copy that, and I just want to change my name. I have my friend's resume. I have made a copy of it. I just changed my name and address. Rest everything I made it same. So that became my resume now, right? But it is a copy of the my friend's resume. Are you agreeing with it?
Yeah.
So that is how your copy works. Linking means the existing business processes which is there. I cannot make any changes. I want to keep the same thing. And then I can just use the link option. It's just that it avoids to create multiple business process. But if I have to create something from the scratch, then I will use option which says none of the above. When I use none of the above and I can go ahead and click on OK, I'll get a complete empty business process. There will be only one step in that, which is your initiation, nothing else. If you look into this, you see, I got A, and A, as I stated, the first step in a business process is always going to be initiation. But if I just look onto the default definition, there will be 4 steps in that. Now, what are those 4 steps? Initiation, approval, action, to do, right? So these are the steps that I have. Now, I can customize these steps as per my choice. Okay, I can use it as per my requirement. It is not necessary that I follow this. Now, in my business process, when I go ahead and click on OK here, the business process is created. Although it is just created with one step, but my business process is created. I'll show it to you how. I'll go to this business object. Okay. Now I'll click on actions, go to business process again. Now I'll show you that this list of business process, earlier I showed you that there was a higher default definition, right? I showed you that there was a default definition here in this list.
Yeah. Higher.
Now, now I don't have the default definition. If you see, it says hire for WDLM1 technology. So the name got automatically changed. If I click on this and put the filter, I'll see that my business processes has only one step, that is initiation, nothing else. You see this? But my process is created. Now I want to make the changes, I want to use it as per my requirement, I will have to edit it. Okay, guys, did you understand that? What is the difference between copy, link, and none of the above? Is there any questions on that? All right, I
Uh,
don't get any
uh,
questions, so yes,
like
that,
Devashish, which you like previously filtered, like you have override the higher thing, the business process definition. So
hmm,
that was be the case for the copy thing, or like initiation part is like none of
yes.
these you are like saying that.
No, no, no. See, what did I say when I explained the business process yesterday? That whenever you have a business process, the first step is always going to be initiation. That you cannot change, right? That's what I said.
Yeah.
Every business process will have initiation as the first step. When I use copy, when I use link, the existing business processes will come here. The
Okay.
name will come here, but when I use none of the above, then these things will be created from the scratch. It says hire for this particular supervisory organization. When I link it, it will have the old name. Let's say I link any previous hiring process with the supervisory organization. So if I use default definition, you will see here default definition. If I use something else, then that name would come here in the linking part. But when I actually make a copy, then you will see a copy of that particular supervisory organization's hiring process, which you see. We generally do not use copy or link. If I have to do something from the scratch, I'll use none of the above.
Can you please
Does it make sense?
show us the example for copy or link also?
I will do that, but right now let me configure this first, and then I'll come
Sure,
back to
sure,
that.
sure. Thank you.
Okay. Because this requires a lot of understanding. Okay, copy and link has nothing more. It is just that you have to copy it and you have to link it. That's it.
Okay. Nahin, basically, we'll have to like check about that copy thing. Like the two things will be the same in present in the table or not? Like previous
It
one
will be
or
present.
yeah.
Okay, it will be present. But you cannot have more than one definition of a business object. What I'm trying to say is, if you have created one higher business process, you cannot have two higher business process. So now if I try, I have created the higher business process, right, for my supervisory organization. It's just that I have only one step, but I cannot create another one. I cannot have a copy or a linking part. That business process is gone. If I try to search higher, I'll not get it anymore because higher business process is already created. So one business process at one time. I cannot have the same business process created twice in a supervisory organization. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
So
Got.
either I copy, either I link it, or I use none of the above. I cannot have all three or all two at once. It is not possible, right?
Okay. Okay.
So none of the above is used to do the configuration from the scratch because I don't want to copy anyone's hiring process. I don't want to link it. I want to have my own. Then how we will use it? We will use none of the above. And when I use none of the above, I will get this option of creating my own. Okay, so let me just go back, and now I'm going to the higher business process to configure it. Okay, now with the existing business process, when I use higher, Workday gives you some default sub business processes. Sub business processes means there are certain business processes which will automatically come when we assign the hire. So what are the things which come automatically? You see this. These are sub processes which can be called at any point of time when you want to use it. Example, add a mentor, add a probation period, assign a pay group, assign a benefit election, then edit your government IDs, right? Then you have option like propose compensation higher. So with this, you are actually proposing your offer letter. Not you, but the HR will use this to propose your offer letter. Then you have request one-time payment. So if you are getting a joining bonus or something, so you will get that. Then you have like start a background verification. So all these are used whenever you require to make any changes. Okay, does that make sense, guys? Are you all clear what is this sub processes? So these are all a business process which is a part of your hire, and you can use it whenever you want to. These are also called as sub business processes which is associated with your hire. So whenever you go there, it's not hire only, but if you just go into any of the business process which is there in this supervisory organization, you see this. If I just click on this absence case event, there will be certain business process which will be there automatically. Okay, so this I just clicked on the other one. Let me show it to you. See, close absence case, review absence case. So this is a sub business process which is there. With this add additional job, I got, you see this, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So 29 uh, additional business processes are associated with that. So these are just to help you in case you want to customize it and you want to call the inbuilt business processes which is there already. I can do that. Okay, so now I will start the configuration. So if I have to make any changes, what I'll do, I'll go into the supervisory organization, I will edit it. All right, and then I'll keep on adding my steps. So I'll just quickly configure a small business process to help you to understand what are the things we can do. So first of all, I'll explain you what exactly are the options you get to configure a business process. So there are multiple options that you get. So if I have to add a step, I will use this plus sign, add a row, and then I have to put an order. So the first step, which is A, is initiation, then I'll put B. In that B, what steps you want to put? You have to decide that. See, these are the steps that you get. Action, approval, approval chain, bad job, checklist, complete questionnaire, consolidated approval chain. Then there are multiple things which we are not going to use, like reports, report group, review documents, right? Integrations. Now, all these things are also part of your business process. So in this, if you see, this is a default definition, right? Higher default definition. So here you have just 4 steps: initiation, approval, action, to do. So we will try to understand what does these all things mean so that we can use it. Okay, so let's try to understand one each at one time. Action. What does action means? Action means calling any other business process. Now, any other business process basically means all these processes that you see here. Where did we see all these processes, guys? You remember I showed you this processes somewhere. Where did we see this? I don't hear any answer.
Maybe on hiring, after hiring.
After hiring, these are all sub processes. Where did we see the sub processes?
Okay, under the under the process definition, like there is a sub process field there, like
Yes.
there
So
additional.
when I
Yeah,
showed you the
list
higher,
of 71.
yeah. So when I showed you the higher default definition, right? So those business processes were there. I'll show you once again. so that you don't forget it. Guys, these are very important things that we are discussing. If you don't understand this, you would not be able to understand the business process. Okay, let me search it in this way. You see this default definition, right? Now, if I just go into this, I'll be able to see that, but still I'll not be able to look into it because I will WDLM1 underscore technology, right? This is my supervisory organization. I'll go to actions. Again, I'll go to business process. Again, I'm showing you, please don't forget it. If you're forgetting it, it is of no use. That's the place where you see the related business objects. Not the business objects, but the sub-processes. Okay, you see this? Are these the same things that that I'm showing it to you? Do you see this?
Yeah.
So this is the same thing, guys. Okay. So all these actions, that is meaning, action itself means you're calling a sub business process. Okay. Any of the process you can call at any point of time, but it should be logically correct. So I haven't hired anybody, right? It is just the initiation. I cannot go ahead and start that. Okay, add a probation period. I don't have the approval yet. How will I go ahead and add a probation period now? I can go ahead and add a, start the background verification. For whom I should do the background verification? I haven't got that, right? So first of all, you have to think that how a hiring process needs to be created. So if you look the default definition here, right? Whatever the default definition you have, it shows you the first is initiation, then you need an approval, right? Now the next one is basically an approval. Now what is an approval? Approval means getting a consent from your manager or your manager's manager that you are okay to perform this activity. So if you have to hire somebody, okay, please go ahead. You got an approval from the hiring manager. Then your other steps will be initiated. That, I got the approval from the hiring manager. I will ask the candidate to give, please send me your existing documents, send me your experience letter, send me your previous salary slips. All those things, once they send it, and then only we can go ahead and process the offer letter, right? And once they accept the offer letter, then only I can give a joining date, that okay, this will be a joining date, and before that all the formalities needs to be completed, right? So that has happened after approval. Actions, when I use actions, it gives me the sub business processes, and then guys, I have to specify which security group is allowed to perform that step. For example, I choose add probation period, right? Now who will do that? That also you have to specify. Let's say I'm asking this to be done by HR. So is it HR partner? So you have to specify this. And then this particular security group, the role that is there, part of this security group, that role has to be assigned in the supervisory organization. Without that, you will not be able to, activate it, or your work will not be activated. Okay. So in approval also, you have to put the security group. So if I'm giving an approval, who has to give an approval? The manager of the supervisory organization has to give an approval, right? Do you see that? So if I just check this option, manager, so whoever is manager of this supervisory organization will get a notification that you have to approve it. Okay, now I get approval chain. Approval you have understood. Now what do you understand by approval chain? What does that mean?
Maybe after next sequence, after second
Yes,
approval. Anything.
Yes, basically you will have more than one approvers. Chain means you have more than one approvers. So let's say that I have to approve, I am the manager, my manager's manager, my manager would approve, and then finally the head of the department is also going to approve. So if there are three people who needs to approve, then you will have an approval chain. So let's say I have approved it, my manager has approved it, and then if the department has not approved it, it will be pending. If they reject it, then the hiring is cancelled. So all three of them has to approve. Okay, does that make sense, guys? Yes, no? I'm sorry, I did not hear that. You
Yeah,
understood
Yeah,
yeah.
it, you did not?
yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is about your approval chain. Um, we are already overshooting, but do you have time? Because I want to, if you allow me, I can just finish it up in next 15 minutes. You want to extend for 15 minutes or you want to connect tomorrow? It will take another 15 minutes.
Okay for me.
Okay. Akshat, Kisha, Madhu,
S-
Vijay, please
Same,
tell me.
same okay for me. But I have like a 9:45 internal meeting of the company. So before that,
Oh, okay.
please. Yeah.
Kisha is saying that we can continue tomorrow because see, I want everybody on this topic with a fresh mind, guys, because this is important. Okay, we are going to use this everywhere. We are going to use this everywhere, not only in HCM, but this business process is something which will be available throughout the module. Wherever you go, business process is not going to change. The concept of business process will always remain same. Concept of security group will always remain same. Concept of reports will always remain same. Concept of integration will always remain same. These things will not change at all. Rest everything can change, but these things will not change. Okay, so that's the reason I'm putting a lot of focus in this chapter so that you don't face any problem. Okay,